Hello again and happy new year 2023. Just wow, crazy. This is honestly probably the fastest year that has gone by for me. And I remember telling this to someone, a coworker, and she was like, "Well, have you had a lot of change this year?" And I was thinking back, I'm like, "Holy shit, yeah, I've had a lot of change in 2022." And so that's maybe one of the reasons why I feel like for me 2022 has been like this kind of a step back almost, maybe not a step back, but like a breath of fresh air and slowing down, kind of like priming me and prepping me for 2023. And although I kind of think back to the beginning of the year, the goals that I set for my business, for myself, and I'm nowhere near the goals that I had set, like nowhere near them, especially financially. I think back and I'm just grateful for the year. A lot has happened. I am grateful that I have slowed down and taken that step back because for a lot of years, I was just kind of in go, go, go mode. And it's just kind of been this whole new perspective for me. And now I'm like, all right, it's go time. Let's do this. 2023, like I'm going to be in probably hustle mode sometimes, but I'm ready for it. Like mentally, physically, emotionally, I'm ready for it. And I honestly kind of debated on whether or not I was going to create like a 2023 vision board or goals or intentions or even like having a word, because usually I have a word for the year. And I don't even know what I'm going to do yet because I feel like every time I set these goals for myself, either I don't look at them as often as I should, or like I just don't have a plan to follow through with those. I don't know. It's weird. So maybe I'll just set a word. I have a couple words in mind. But I've just been kind of taking it slower into this new year right now. We just left a family Christmas and New Year's Eve and all of that. So I'm just kind of getting back into the swing of things. But also reflecting on 2022, I have struggled a lot with self-doubt and imposter syndrome. And there's been a lot of good, but then also there's been a few things that I feel like have kind of held me back in a way. So I'm trying to really be like, okay, this year, 2023, like I'm going to go into it and think about being bold and having confidence and making an impact. So this is me just talking out loud, reflecting a little bit, but there's that. So now we have this new year, right? 2023, we have these goals, these resolutions. Maybe your goal is to get into the gym. Maybe your goal is to be healthier. Maybe your goal is to lose weight or lose body fat. Like whatever your health and fitness goal is, I'm here for it. Congrats. I want to say congrats first off to you for deciding that you're going to make this change. And whether you've maybe invested in a gym membership, invested in a personal trainer, a coach, whatever, like be proud of that step. I know there's going to be a lot of people out there saying like making jokes about the new year and the gyms being, really busy and jam packed and like making fun of those people. But if you're one of those people that you're getting started, like don't just block out that noise. F that noise and you do you. Continue that and don't let them bring you down. Don't let them stop you. That's a huge step. And I'm sorry that that's like a thing for you and that you're maybe listening to that or you're hearing those things. But I just want to give you that push and that nudge to keep going and to just do it. And if you're one of those people who you do make those comments, I would encourage you to refrain from that. So again, going back to those 2023 goals and resolutions and things that you have within your health and fitness. I think every year I've done an episode, whether it's with a guest or myself, talking about how to stick to your health and fitness goals, kind of like a step-by-step plan or tips and like just how to do it. But I'm going to actually give you things to leave behind in 2022 because I feel like if you leave these behind, this is kind of a roadmap to sticking to your goals and getting and reaching to your goals no matter what. By the way, before I get into that, if there's some changes in audio, how I sound versus other episodes, I left my computer at my fiance's mom's house, and so I'm using her computer, and it works great. Thankful that I'm able to record and do all the things for my episode and everything else that I need to do, but I'm not used to it, and I think that something might get messed up with recording and the audio might change throughout the episode, which I am so sorry for. I apologize. All right, back to number one. If you've been around, this should be no surprise. The first one here that I would encourage you to leave behind in 2022 is food restriction. Restricting food will only lead to binging or overeating later on. Like, just think back to the past year. How many times did you try to restrict foods, so you can't have certain foods, and then how many times did that end up leading to overeating or to binging or to feeling like you're just out of control with food, or to feeling like you just can't get a grip with food, feeling like you're constantly thinking about the foods that you're trying to restrict. And it's just like an emotional roller coaster. Maybe you give in, you binge, you feel guilty, you feel regretful, and then the cycle just continues over again. So I want to encourage you to just leave that behind in 2022 and stop that food restriction. And just, it's kind of like a slow process. Like, maybe you start with one food that you know that you restrict, or a type of food that you know you restrict, and allow yourself to just have that whenever you feel like you want some of it. Maybe keep it around at home. Maybe just have a little bit every single day, and allow yourself to maybe even eat a little more than you hope or anticipate. And then over time, this will become a balance, and this will lead to peace with food. Number 2, the all or nothing mentality and the all or nothing way of thinking. This will only lead you to starting and stopping. It's kind of that, having that perfectionist mindset with things. And this really only, again, leads to that restrict binge cycle and the yo-yo dieting and trying to, again, start and stop with different things and programs and cleanses and supplements and all the things over and over again. Number 3, seeing and viewing food as just a spectrum. Like, we have foods that are more nourishing and nutrient dense and provide our bodies with the nutrients that we need to best perform, to best succeed at maybe a fat loss phase or to build muscle. And then there's foods that are just less nutrient dense and doesn't serve us in that way, but maybe it serves our peace of mind, and just because we want it and we don't want to restrict those foods. So instead of labeling foods as, quote, good or bad, which then psychologically will attach to guilt and regret, and then again lead into that restrict binge cycle, we're just seeing food as food, and we're not labeling it necessarily a certain way. We have foods, again, that are less nutrient dense and foods that are more nutrient dense, foods that make us feel a little bit better than other foods, and foods that make us feel a little bit worse than other foods. Number 4, overexercise, leaving behind feeling the need to work out every single day, and allowing yourself to have rest days and know that rest days are important and they're vital to building muscle, to losing body fat, to having optimal overall health. We need that rest. And if you're not well rested, then exercise isn't always healthy or sustainable. And please stop saying we can sleep when we're dead, or stop prioritizing exercise over sleep. Because again, if you're not well rested, if you don't get enough sleep, exercise will do the opposite. It is not healthy, it is not sustainable, and it's going to create a lot of chaos and other things that you don't want to have happen. And also keep in mind that exercise is stress. Lifting weights is stress. High intensity workouts, that is stress. And we need to actually mitigate stress in order to have the ability to lose weight and to lose body fat, I guess I should say, to gain muscle, to do things that we want to do. So although, yes, exercise has so many benefits, and I want to point out that there's maybe a difference here between working out and, going to the gym to do a lifting workout, or maybe to do a high intense cardio workout, whatever it is, and then getting in the, your steps. So maybe it's going for a walk and getting outside. Maybe it's just doing some light stretching and hip mobility and things like that. So I just kind of want to differentiate between the two. But what we don't want to do is over exercise and over workout with the workouts where we are lifting heavier, the workouts where we are going higher intensity, doing more cardio. We need to give our bodies that break so we can allow our bodies to recover, recoup, build muscle. That is the time that it does that, is those times of rest. Number 5, something that I want you to leave behind in 2022 is trying to fit back into clothes, trying to fit back into your quote skinny clothes or high school clothes or college clothes, like trying to fit back into clothes where you were maybe a certain size that you hope to get to be one day. Our bodies are constantly changing and evolving, and they will never be the same as they are right now. And it will never be the same as it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. For me, I used to get so frustrated and sad and mad when clothes, and sometimes ones that I wore years ago, wouldn't fit me anymore, or they wouldn't fit right, or as comfortable, or they felt tighter. And I would get mad when I would go shopping. I would get mad at my body and I would say degrading things. And like I would see a cute top or leggings and they just wouldn't fit like how I envisioned or how I hoped that they would. And I would keep certain clothes as a way to motivate myself or to fit into them again. And I blamed my body. But think about this. If a shoe doesn't fit, you don't blame your feet. You just go find ones that do fit. So when clothes don't fit or don't fit comfortably, why do we blame our bodies? We're meant to fit into clothes, and clothes are meant to fit onto you. So this is something that I learned. I feel like it's a really valuable lesson that I've learned. And it is just that. Clothes are supposed to fit onto us and our bodies. We dictate and define our wardrobe. Our wardrobe does not and should not get to dictate or define us. You deserve to find and keep clothes that fit you and your body comfortably, confidently. And when they don't, that's fine. Goodbye to them. Like, make room for new. And remember that our bodies, the weight, the shape will fluctuate. They will shift. They will expand. They will shrink constantly and during different seasons of our lives and what we're going through. And for me, once I realized this and made peace with the fact that my body won't ever be the same that it was, it won't ever be the same exact body that it was in high school or college or 2 years ago, I realized that I now give my body the chance to always be unique. And when I realized that, I'm just like, wow, what a freaking gift. Like, I give my body the chance to be unique in its own way, always, constantly, through the changes of life and seasons of life. So just like we evolve and grow mentally, so do our physical bodies. And like our literal anatomy changes as we age. So please leave that behind. Leave trying to fit into clothes that you were in once before. Leave that mindset behind in 2022. Make room for new. Make room for new in your mindset, in your life, for your body. You deserve that. Your body deserves that. And that's good. This is going to lead me into the last one, which is number 6. Leave behind degrading your body and looking at yourself in the mirror and speaking negative thoughts and speaking negativity into it and saying just how maybe how much you hate a certain body part or how much you want something to change. And it's okay to want change, but I think that there's something to be said about the way that we speak to our bodies, and it's so important. And so I want to encourage you to, in 2023, speak more gratitude into your body and think of, the good from your body and like all that you can do, the ability to see, to touch, to maybe go hiking, the ability to do whatever your favorite hobby is, the ability to do whatever it is for you. The best advice I can give you that's helped me is when you have a negative thought about your body, just have some sort of cue. Like for me, I see a red flashing light, and that, especially when I was really working on this, like that was my cue to either think of a positive thought about my body, something that I'm grateful for, or to just it would be to go do something else. But I feel like that didn't really serve me as much as just intentionally changing my thinking, because that's a practice and that's teaching my brain also a different neural pathway. It's teaching it a different way of thinking, and that takes practice. Okay, let's recap. Things to leave behind in 2022. Number 1, food restriction. Number 2, the all or nothing mentality. Number 3, labeling food as good or bad. Number 4, overexercise. Number 5, feeling like and trying to have the goal of fitting into clothes that were from in our past. And number 6, degrading our bodies or talking negatively about our bodies and bashing our bodies. So I hope that you can take one of these, 2 of these, all of these, and try to leave those behind in 2022 and maybe just work on one of those to help you get to where you want to go and where you want to be. If you're new here and you listened all the way through, I want to say thank you for being here. If you've listened for a while, whether you've been here a long time or not, I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. And if you're not yet a part of the Food Freedom and Muscle Building Solutions community on Facebook, it is a Facebook group. It is a free community where I go on and share a lot more strategies and tips, kind of like the podcast, but in post format. I go live in January. I'm going live once a week, once every Wednesday evening. And the first week, I am going to be talking about how to have and how to improve your relationship with food. So if you feel like this group can serve you and can help you to improve your relationship with food, to get away from diet culture and yo-yo dieting and all of those things, and to lose body fat, gain muscle, like whatever your goal is, please either reach out to me on social media or you can go to the link in the show notes. All of this will be in the show notes and you can request to join there. If you're on Instagram, let's connect on there. My Instagram is Sophia_Dawn41. So that's SOPHIA_DAWN41. I'm also on Facebook. Again, you can scroll down to the show notes to see those. And by the time that this episode is released, I will have announced an opportunity, a scholarship for you and for anyone who's interested in giving away some free coaching for a few months. So go ahead and check out my social medias for those. I'll be talking about that more and more. And with that, Happy New Year, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, week, weekend. Bye for now.